Yeah, shalom, and welcome to another installment of Elders of GMS. Today's topic is going to be entitled Sotomayor, the response. Today's date is April 27, 2013. Last week, we did a regular series that we do. It went up on the different sites, on the YouTube page and on our main page. And I had made a reference to Tommy Sotomayor, which a lot of us watch. We just found out about this dude. And we had made a reference at him. And he came back and he had said that he was humbled by the fact that, we mentioned his name. We showed his picture and everything. I mean, we don't really know the guy. We just watch him just like people watch us. And, based upon his comment, I came to the conclusion that he'd be watching our videos. And there's a lot of those guys that watch our videos. And what he did was on his page, his YouTube page, he had put up the part, I think it was part 2. He had put the whole part up, which is like 10 minutes long. And he basically said, he was humbled by the fact that we mentioned his name and all that. And that basically gave us a whole another audience, So on the comment board on his page, and he gets a lot of hits. He got one page where he got 8 million hits. That's a lot of hits right there. Which, I mean, if he commercialized that, put commercials on that, man, he got a big audience, man. And basically what he gets into, he gets on the black woman. I mean, he tears the black woman down, man. And you know what? Rightfully so. Black woman ain't shit. But once you understand, see, all he knows is that the black woman ain't right. She ain't shit. And he gets on her. And like I said, rightfully so. But if he had the understanding of why they did what they did, he wouldn't be as mad, because that's part of the curses. That's part of the curses. Part of the curses, we're Israelites. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of it. Heard of us, excuse me. We're Israelites, and we're the men of the Lord, all right, based upon the scriptures. We're the prophets based upon the scriptures, because anytime a society or a system was set up or a kingdom was set up, before that major kingdom went down, there was always a prophet to prophesy against it. Like, for example, when you go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, Daniel, the 7th chapter, the whole book of Daniel, he was a prophet to during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, and he basically said that you're this great kingdom, there's going to be another kingdom that's going to follow you, there's going to be another kingdom that's going to follow that kingdom, which the second kingdom was the Medo-Persian Empire, the third kingdom was the Greeks, all right, and the fourth kingdom, which is the last kingdom, was the Roman Empire, which there's a second part to the Roman Empire, and we're living in the time of the Roman Empire, which is known as the acronym NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU. You see all this stuff in the news about the EU and about NATO, and the U.S. is a part of a member of NATO, which they celebrated in 1999, 50 years of NATO being in power. So the UN is locked into NATO and the EU and the money system, like the IMF, which is headquarters in D.C., but it's a department of the UN when you look it up. You have the World Health Organization. That's a creation of the UN. And out of the World Health Organization, although they're not going to tell you, is the CDCP, which is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention out of Atlanta. And they featured that organization in the movie, what's that movie? The Contagion, all right? So that's the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was vast, so the Roman Empire is back all over again under a different name. So this second Roman Empire, or NATO, the EU, the UN, the so-called white power structure, which is led by Esau in the Bible, the so-called white man, they derive from the Edomites. They stem from the ancient biblical Edomites. And we're at the end of this thing. When the scriptures speak about the end of the world, it's speaking about the end of Esau's world, the end of the so-called white man's world, the end of the U.S., which is also known as Babylon the Great, that great city. That's why we were brought over here to serve slavery for almost going on 400 years. Because we're still slaves to this day. We were never set free. We were emancipated. We were never set free, though. Because if you are actually set free, you would go back to where you're from. And we're not from Africa. Even though we were brought over here against our wills. Give me that in, was that Joel 3? We were brought over here against our wills to serve slavery under this devil. So now the time has come for the Most High to come and deliver us and to destroy this damn place. And Barack Obama, you so-called Negroes, which you are all Israelites, the majority of you put this monkey in the office, man. And he hasn't did not one thing for you, man. He kisses the so-called Jews' ass. He helps the Arabs. He helps everybody except his own people, man. Go ahead.
Hey, Elder Dog, I just throw this in there. You said he kisses the so-called Jews' ass, which he does. Now, early this morning, when I got home, Elder Ramla was playing a video, right, with the so-called Jews was cursing Obama out. Saying, fuck Obama, you haven't done nothing for the Jews, and they're talking about them white Jews. And the Amalekites, they were cursing them out. They don't like him. But he kisses their ass.
He gave him $70 billion. Was it $70 billion to the Iron Dome? That was that missile shield program against the Arab military, against missiles. And you're still getting billions of dollars a year. Who built up your military? The state of Israel is nothing but a welfare state. If the U.S. stopped giving you aid, you would be dead. All right?
Joel chapter 3, verse 4. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine?
This represents these Arabs. When you go into Tyre and Zidon, the original inhabitants of Tyre and Zidon were Canaanites. Zidonians. Those were Canaanites. But as of late, the Arabs are in that land right now. The Palestinians and so forth. Go ahead.
Will you render me
and the so-called Jews. Go ahead.
Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Verse 5 now.
No, verse 3. Go to verse 3.
Verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot.
You know what? Start at the top. The key point is in the third verse, but start at the top.
Joel chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Now Joel is a prophet that's prophesying the downfall of this society. He's talking about what's getting ready to happen. I'm pretty sure you ran across a movie or read a book or went to church and heard the term, the Battle of Armageddon. Armageddon is this nuclear war, this third world war that's going to take place in the Middle East that the U.S. military is going to be a part of. And that's the way the Most High is going to bring this society down. And not just the U.S., but all these other European nations and these Arab nations and these the so-called Chinese, because the Chinese think that they're going to be the next great rulers. The next great rulers of this society, of this world, of this planet, are the children of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes, West Indian, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominicans, the people of North, Central, and South America of Indian and Negroid descent. Those are the Israelites. Those scum rats over there in the land of Israel, those are Edomites. Those are not the people of the true people of the Lord.
and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations.
And that's why you got some Israelites living in Haiti. You got some living in Sicily, in Italy, in Rome, in Scotland, in Ireland, in England, in the Americas, in Canada, in Mexico, in. So we were literally scattered. A lot of those so-called Arabs over there are Israelites, man. We can't identify them. You got a lot of Vietnamese that are Israelites because the GIs went down there. You had black GIs of the tribe of Judah, which are the so-called Negro. You had West Indians. You had North American Indian that went down there in Vietnam, the Seminoles. You had some Mexicans probably went down there. And they dropped their seed among them Vietnamese women. So a lot of our people is down there in Vietnam. But the Most High is only dealing with the elect. He's only dealing with the chosen elect of Israel. He's not dealing with all Israel. Because all Israel is going to come in when the kingdom of heaven is established. And they're going to come back to us in the form of our sons and our daughters.
I'm going to say so too. And it's spiritual too. Because like the Elder Torah mentioned about the Jakes that are in Vietnam, they're called outcasts. They got a certain time where they put them at, which is deep because that goes with Isaiah, the 11th chapter. So that just further backs up what the prophecy said that the Lord was going to do with Israel.
That's right.
It says, and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
During the time of slavery, what they did, they made a lot of those boys faggots. They traded a lot of the slaves for harlots, made them harlots, prostitutes, and so forth. They traded. It was the Arabs on that, right, Django Unchained. Yeah. They showed you that in the movie. Yeah, they made those black women into prostitutes, man. And that's right, comfort girls. And they also traded wine. They also traded musket guns, different type of jewelry, and so forth for these slaves. Because the so-called European, led by the so-called Jew, that scum rat, he was the one that really controlled that whole slave trade, man, going back to the Americas, which they call the transatlantic slave trade, all right? Because they had them going to America, had them going to Haiti, and different parts around the world. So, but the Arabs, they were a part of that too. The Arabs supplied the ships, and the Africans supplied the slaves, which the majority of the slaves came out of West Africa, because going back to during the time of Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, mainly Titus, when he conquered our people that was in Jerusalem. But a lot of our people fled down into Africa, and we had set up colonies in the western side of Africa, man. So the other so-called true Africans knew where the Israelites dwelt, because we were in another land calling ourselves Israelites, man. Because it wasn't Africans that were selling Africans to the so-called white man. It was Africans, Hamites, selling Israelites in Western Africa to the so-called white man.
Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast?
That's them Arabs.
And all the coasts of Palestine. Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians.
Yeah, the Grecians, now the word Grecians in the Old Testament, the word there, matter of fact, go to that, Ak. Go to verse 6 of Joel, the 3rd chapter.
It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their border.
All right, go ahead and read the definition.
Okay, the Greek, the Hebrew word there for Grecians is Yawan, and it says
That's where Yah-1, which is goes back to Japhet in Genesis the 10th chapter, the Table of Nations.
Yawan. It says simply says Grecian.
Yeah, in reality, the people of Yah-1 or Yawanya are the one of the sons of Japhet. The Japhets are the people of the Samoans, the people of the South Pacific, the Hawaiians, the Tongans, which are scattered in Australia and the South Pacific, the different islands around Europe, because originally they were from Europe. Because you had Tahiti, because you had certain Hebrew Israelites back in the past that said that the white man are the sons of Japhet. That's not true. The sons of Japhet are the people that I just mentioned. The Hawaiians, the Samoans, the Tahitians, and so forth. The Tongans. But what happened was they were in Europe, and they were pushed out of Europe by the Edomites. Going back to the history of Philip of Macedonia, his son Alexander the Creep, because they just got out of the caves of the Caucasus Mountains between the Babylonian Empire and the Medo-Persian Empire. Actually, during the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. And they came out as the Greeks because Alexander's father came out of Macedon, which you had Japhetic people up there. Okay? The Roman Empire stemmed from the name Rome come from a boy by the name of Romulus, who was a brother of Remus, who was supposedly, legend goes, that they were suckled by they were both suckled by a she-wolf. And they had named Rome after that boy, after the one son. And I believe the one son killed the other son when they grew up. But it was actually the Japhetic people, the dark people, the Samoan, which they were also known as Etruscans. That was another name. So the Roman Republic was established by the Etruscans. And that's when this devil slowly came into power. All right?
Verse 7, Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them.
And that place is America. So Joel is going from slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, up into right now, which is this close to this man going down. So the Most High said he's going to raise us up out of this place. Give me Revelation 12, and I believe it's 14 verse, and also give me Hosea 1 and 10 and 11. And anybody want to jump in, go ahead and jump in.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly. And
you know what? I'm sorry. You got to start from the first verse. You know, I always go to the first verse because they say, what is a woman? So you got to explain who the woman is now.
Revelation 12 and 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
That woman, the Roman Catholics say that woman represent Holy Mary, Mother of God. It represent the children of Israel, represent the nation of Israel, because it said that she had the sun on her at her feet, at her head, right? A sun and the moon at her feet, and a crown on her head of 12 stars. So that crown on the head of 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Go ahead.
It says, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pained to be delivered.
Now that's talking about when the child that was going to be born, the firstborn, was that how that scripture going? I believe it's Colossians, the firstborn of every creature. If you can find it, bring it out. Give me the right quote. But anyway, that child that was being born out of this woman, Israel, represented the Lord, whom the church is called Jesus Christ, who some people call the Word of God, the firstborn of every creature. Well, this was the Lord, whom you call Jesus Christ. His name, he was a Hebrew. He spoke Hebrew to Paul, the Apostle Paul, Paul spoke Hebrew. All right? I know I'm jumping around, but bear with me, all right? Jesus' real name was Yahweh Shai. Which you got some clowns out there that say, well, we don't know the name of the Lord. All right? That's right. The bootleggers. But but anyway, I told you to go to a couple of scriptures. Let's get some more meat out of that.
This is back in Revelation chapter 12, verse 2. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered.
Now, she being with child, crying in birth, pain to be delivered, that's talking about the slaughter of the Hebrew babies. You got that, brother? Give me that. The slaughter of the Hebrew babies.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked.
By the way, Herod, if you look him up, Herod was an Edomite. All right, that was set up by the Romans to sit up there, call himself the king of the Jew. And he claimed, and his brothers, his line, his sons, his brothers, and so forth, that whole line, and his daughters and relatives, they all claimed to be Jews. And Herod sat up on the throne saying that he was part of the line of the King David and King Solomon. He was part of that line, which he wasn't part of that line. But the Romans set this devil up, and he looked like one of us. He was dark skinned, because he had dark skinned people in his lineup. But going back to his father's line, he was an Edomite, a so-called white man. So he was the one that made this order, made this decree to have the Hebrew babies, the sons really, the Hebrew babies born during that period of time, because they knew by prophecy and the star up in the heaven that the Messiah was coming. That star led, the star of Bethlehem, as they call it, that was a sign that the Messiah was here, which was the true king of the Jews that was going to bring down the Roman Empire. He is going to bring down the Roman Empire on this side, on this half. So he knew about that, so he said he wanted to get the Messiah put to death. So the angel Gabriel came to Joseph and Mary, the Lord's father and mother, biological father and mother. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy on that, all right? Because we're giving you basics. The angel Gabriel told the Lord's parents to flee down into Egypt. Why? Because there were dark people in Egypt, and there were Israelites in Egypt.
This is Matthew 2 and 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not.
Yeah, that was that slaughter, that great slaughter, because Herod wanted and it mentioned Bethlehem. The prophecy said that the Messiah was going to come out of Bethlehem, the house of David. The word Bethlehem is Hebrew for Bayath Lacham, house of bread, also known as the city of David. So that's why he focused on Bethlehem, man, and the coast cities near about, because he wanted to get the Messiah. All right, go ahead.
This is back in Revelation 12 and 2. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads.
That represent first and foremost the Roman Empire, and was in the latter, the last leg of the Roman Empire, which came back into power. The ancient Roman Empire went underground, so to speak, and it came back into power as NATO, the EU. The UN is a part of it, but mainly NATO and the EU and those member countries, which are all European member countries.
Verse 4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
That's the Messiah, because he's coming to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and his chosen, which are the Israelites, starting with the elect, they're going to rule with him. They're going to be joint heirs with him. That's in Romans the 8th chapter. Now, I know I named this Tommy Sotomayor, and the reason why I said that, so his followers can, come to our site and recognize that it's talking about Tommy. So even though we didn't mention too much about him, we got you now, so we're trying to give you this history. We're trying to wake you up to the fact that you're Israelites. See, the Most High is only dealing with the elect. The Most High has sent his men, which are us, as the elect, to raise up other elect before the society goes down.
And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. Verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had the...
Yeah, it's not talking about no woman. It's talking about the nation of Israel. Really, the three tribes that were left in Jerusalem, in those coastal areas. And they fled down, the ones that could escape from the onslaught of Titus, the Roman Caesar, which he was a general at one time, and he became Caesar after his father. A lot of our people got put to death, got conquered. But the ones that, followed the prophecy, they fled into some of them fled into the mountains up in Europe. Some of them, a lot of them fled down into Africa. Go ahead.
And that's why, if I may say this, Elder Tar, verse 4, it says, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. That third part of the stars was those three tribes that were left in Jerusalem and in that area at the time, which the Romans...
Yeah, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Judah are the so-called black people of America. Benjamin are the so-called West Indians, Jamaicans, and so forth, in those islands round about. And Levi were the priests, all right, which the Most High dealt with them through the Spirit. They are the so-called Haitians, because Haitians are known for that's doing spiritual things, man. I ran into guys that lived down in Haiti that said they actually saw people fly. You can chop one guy's head off, put it on another guy's head. They deal with them spirits on the left-hand side, because that proves that they were the priests. But back then they were dealing with the spirits on the right-hand side.
This is Matthew 11:11. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force.
Yeah, we're the kingdom of heaven, the nation of Israel, and the violent ones, or the violent, are the Roman Empire, and that's what they did. They took us down by force.
Revelation 12:6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And when you go into the history, was it Rudolph R. Windsor? What's the name of that book? From Babylon to Timbuktu. It tells you there on page 85, I believe it is, that when this happened, when the Romans besieged Jerusalem, it said it was estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into the interiors of Africa. It said 1 million black Jews fled into the interiors of Africa. Just to give you some history on what took place back then. It says, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And that's a time period of 3.5 years. Which really is prophetic years, which is 350 years, which from the time when they fled out of from the time when they started being sold in Africa to the so-called white men, until the time where the truth was taught and the men of Israel started waking up, it was 350 years from 1620, where the bulk of the slaves came to America, until 1970, when you had a great man by the name of Abba Bivens, who taught us who we were, or who we are. Salaki. It said, and there was war in heaven Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and the angels.
Yeah, we're saying a lot of things that's gonna mess your heads up, you know. But if you're part of the elect, you're gonna get it. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be hard at first, and then you're gonna see it. Your eyes are gonna open up. Okay, we're saying a whole lot of things. We're moving real fast, but we're trying to give you the information, you know. And you just can't get it in one sitting. So among the ones that are following Tommy Sotomayor that are watching us, like I said, the both sides only going to choose among some of you. Yeah, many are called, but few are chosen. Okay, so you're being called right now. So like I said, we're trying to go back to the basics. We're trying to be as basic as we can to give you some understanding. You ever go to, everybody likes movies about dealing with sci-fi and fantasy, right? Well, basically what we're breaking down to you is like, it sounds like a fantasy. With this man Abba coming down and Elijah and, you know, all the stuff that the great red dragon. See, this is something that these churches, the Baptist church, the Methodist church, Jehovah's Witness, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Lord's not dealing with any of those clowns, man. The Lord's not dealing with TD fakes. The Lord's not dealing with creep low dollar. The Lord's not dealing with Joe Osteen. The Lord's not dealing with a Farrakhan. Lord's damn sure not dealing with Farrakhan because we're not Arabs, all right? The Lord's not dealing with Frederick K. Price. And most I ain't dealing with him. But he sound like he knows this. If you don't know better, he'll pull a fast one on you, man. The only ones, we are the men of the Lord. You got to get that through your head. The Most High sent down representatives of himself, and you're looking at him, man. But there's two of us, but there's many of us, man. And as you watch these shows and watch us, and if you're a part of the elect, you're going to get it, man. You're going to be sealed. Go ahead.
And verse 7, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, and the great dragon was cast out. That old.
Forget about that. We going. Yeah.
All right, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent.
Now, what was the scripture that you read? The key word was place.
That was Joel 3.
I read that again. It said that she may fly into the wilderness, which was Africa, the interiors of Africa. Israel wound up in the west. They had colonies set up in the western heart of the western part of Africa. They had set up colonies and so forth. They had built communities and cities. Fort Judah was one of them. Why was it called Fort Judah? Because the Jews had built up forts and a fort is nothing but a city. All right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 15. It says, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Verse 16. It says, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Because Yahushua was prophesying that Jerusalem, during the time of Yahushua, which was about, what they say, 4 BC or whatever, to 33 AD, during that time, Jake was still in Jerusalem, inhabited it. But Yahushua knew in the future, roughly around what was about 64 AD or something like that, when Vespasian and Titus, he knew they were going to besiege Jerusalem. So he prophesied, he said, look, you're closer going into 70 AD. Right? And he knew that was going to happen. So he told him, he said, look, you're going to have to flee into the wilderness. And that's when Jake fled into the wilderness of the coast of West Africa, which goes into the place that the Most High had prepared for.
And they went into other places, man. That's why Paul had made those journeys, those famous journeys up into different parts of Asia Minor and Europe, as you call Europe today. Because you had Israelites scattered up in different parts of Europe, Asia Minor. And ultimately to the other side of the world, which is the Americas, North, Central, and South America. The Israelites, the chosen people of the Most High in the Bible are on this side of the world. They're the people of Indian, Negroid, and Indian descent, for lack of better words, which are like the Latinos, the so-called Latinos, you know, the different Spanish tribes, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Panamanians, the Brazilians, the Dominicans, and so forth, the Haitians, the West Indians, and the so-called American black. All right?
This is Joel chapter 3, verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them.
So there goes that word place again. We read place in this scripture right here, Joel the 3rd chapter, and we also came across the word place in into a place in Revelation 12 and 14. So that place is right over here in America. The wilderness represents Africa. The place that we were brought to against our wills was America and the other surrounding areas. You know, on the western side of the world, the western hemisphere. All right?
And will return your recompense upon your own head. This is Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Yeah, because we're all over the place, man. You know, they say the biggest nation out there are the Chinese. The biggest nation out there are the nation of Israel. We're so big that the tribes are looked at as being nations. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them.
There goes the word place again. That's America. That's also known spiritually as Sodom and Egypt, pursuant to Revelation, the 11th chapter and the 8th verse. The place is also known as Babylon, the great city Babylon, Babylon the Great, mentioned in the book of Revelation. Different parts in the different chapters in the book of Revelation. And that's where the Most High is going to redeem us. You know, lift us up, take us out of here, deliver us. And then once we're delivered, the elect, not all of us, because some Israelites are going to stay here and die. Because there's going to be race riots in the society. This society is getting ready to break down, man. Famines and so forth. There's going to be food shortages. You're going to have more explosions, more so-called terrorist attacks, whether staged or not staged. You're going to have more martial law declared, like they declared martial law on Boston. Well, you're going to have that a lot more. Because that's the fulfillment of, go back to Revelation 12 and 12.
This is the book of Revelation.
And this so-called Esau, this white man, is a devil.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Yeah, the devil represents the elite of these crackers, man. Starting from the Rothschilds and these other super rich families. Because this guy, Barack Obama, ain't nothing but a puppet for the elite. These Congress people, the Senate, the Supreme Court, they're all puppets for the elite.
Back in Hosea 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living power.
So that place is America, right? This is the place where you're being called the sons of the living power. When you put that word together in Hebrew, sons of the living power, the word there is, or sons of the living God, the word there is Yasher Allah, Yah, He, Shah, prince, which is also a son of a king, because we're the son of God. God is the king, right? So we're the son of him, the father, so that makes us princes. He, prince of God. So there it shall be called, in this place, America, there is going to be called, we're going to be called the sons of God, or we're going to be called Israel. All right? Got anything?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee."
Now we're going to jump around because I wanted to really get into the whole chapter of Deuteronomy 28 chapter. So let's jump around a little bit. Let's go to the 32nd verse.
Verse 32. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand."
Slavery. Watch the movie Roots. Watch the movie Django Unchained. All right. Although he busted out of there, which that's a fairy tale movie, but it still showed bits and pieces of how slavery took place. Watch the movie Mandingo. Watch the movie Roots. Watch the movie Drums. And these are all movies based upon the black man and the black woman's slavery and how we couldn't get out of this slavery until this devil, the federal government, made us 14th Amendment slaves. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. The Jackie Robinson movie, which, I went and seen it and everything, and basically that shit, man, it pisses you off because it shows you about these crackers, like the elder said. It showed you where Jake was at. Basically, even after so-called slavery was abolished or whatever, they made you civil. They give you civil rights. They showed you that still you couldn't go into the same bathrooms, this, that, and the third, and then they show you how these niggas, man. Which I don't know what the hell is wrong with them niggas. Them niggas was just taking that shit, man. But those are the type of movies they show you, just like what the scriptures say, what the Lord said about the curses that was going to come upon us, man. All right, and they still on us to this day.
Yeah, well, they got even nigga taskmasters, because I got one. Yeah, fucking KB, that nigga. Boy, he acts the role, boy. He could have played Steven in that movie, man. I mean, he acts the role, boy.
There was something the other day with that brother. That was Steven.
Yeah.
Talking to the brothers,
yeah, man, we all know this guy.
I got a job.
Yeah, that's a real nigga, man. I try to wake his ass up too. I try to wake that big caboose looking motherfucker up, man.
Verse back in Deuteronomy 28:37, and thou.
Now you just heard us curse for the ones that's. Hey, you know what? Tommy Sotomayor cursed his ass off, right? But guess what? Cursing is in the scriptures, man. Peter cursed. All right? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations." Verse 37. "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them."
Yeah, that's what those curses came during the time of Titus, the general that became Caesar, the son of Vespasian. Go back into that history and look up that word Vespasian. Look up Google the word Titus, and what he did to the real Jews. And then on this side, Jake, after they were so-called emancipated, they had their little plots of land, and you notice mostly all them Jakes moved up here to the north, man. All these Jakes up here in Harlem and Chicago and L.A., they all got them southern accents to them, man. They like grits and sweet potato pie and stuff, cause that's why I like it too, brother. Hey, brother, grit, cause I grew up on grits and sweet potato pie and cornbread, cause my people go back to the South, man. Why? Because they were trying to make a better life in the South, but now they live in tenements and apartments, and a lot of them is trying to move back to the South, man. Like my sister, man, she been in the South for years, and she told, I'm coming back to the North. And you find out relatives, man, they'll move to the South. Yeah, I'm going to have a better place, and I'm going to the South. They be down there for about 5 years. They're ready to come back to the North, man. Then they're up here for another 10 years. Then they want to go back to the South, man. Hey, a lot of GIs, They get stationed out there in Germany, man. They find them a big butt German white woman and build a family. They say, I'm staying in Germany, man. I ain't coming back to no goddamn America. That's right.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
And they showed you that in Roots, Mandingo, Drums, Django Unchained, Shaka Zulu.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
That's some other nations, like them Chinese, them Japanese, them different Edomites from different East Indians. They come into your community, go into your community and go into any shop, successful shop, and it's going to be either owned by an East Indian, a damn Gook, a goddamn Arab. The Arabs supposed to be terrorists, right? But they own all the damn bodegas and push carts and all that. Taxis. They shall be on top and you shall be on the bottom. And they can hardly speak 3 words of English.
And thou shalt.
Why is that? Because you're under a curse and they're not under a curse.
And thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
Yeah, because the people of Israel, you ain't got no business being a homosexual or lesbian, man. I went into this favorites fish spot that we go to. Man, I went there last night. It was about like 8, 9 o'clock, man. Man, I was in there for about a good half an hour. There was nothing but Jake, Ephraim, and Simeon up in there, man. And the Italians own this spot. And Mexicans work in the back. They cooking the food. Hey, so I'm up in there, man. Man, it was wall to wall. Oh, by the way, Jake are you so-called black people in America. Anytime we say the word Jake, it's talking about the black man in America, right? Okay? I said Ephraim. Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans, which are our people. I said Simeon, which are the Dominicans, which are our people. But the people that I mostly saw up in there was Jake, man. Then they had the black woman up in there. I don't give a damn how. First of all, I was standing behind 2 of them. One was kind of butch looking. The other one was kind of feminine looking. And then one was, pulling on the other one's hair. And it happened a couple of damn places. And I said, I ain't going to get mad. I ain't going to get mad, man. Hey, Tommy Sotomayor might have lost it up in there. But I wasn't going to get mad. I said, she's the dyke and this one's a, yep. And then I'm looking over here and then this other Ephraimite bitch that acts like the black woman, Puerto Rican, she's coming up rubbing on the other bitch's ass. I'm like, what? But you know what? I was cool as a cucumber, man. I said, I'm here to get my food and to get the hell out of here as quick as possible, Hey, but you seen this one line open and all these nigga women, they were just jumping in front of the line and shit. I mean, they ain't jumping in front of me because I would have lost it, man. I said, look where you fucking going, bitch. There was another line, and I'm observing how this black woman just jumped in front of the line, man. And I'm shaking my head. But I didn't get mad because I was thinking about Tommy Sotomayor. Because he gets mad at the black woman because he doesn't understand that that's part of the curses.
Why they do what they do?
And ultimately, when the kingdom comes, they're gonna be as different from night to day, man. First of all, they're gonna get their beauty back. Number 2, they ain't gonna weave shops and wig shops are gonna be gone because they're gonna get their hair back. The reason why they gotta get weaves and wigs and hair pieces is because they lost their hair in the battle of Little Bighorn. No, they lost their hair but they got scalped by the Most High. The Most High took that hair from them. And the reason why they put them weaves and them wigs and them hair extensions on them, because a woman doesn't feel like a woman unless she has long hair. Give me Isaiah, give me the one in Corinthians first, and then give me Isaiah 3:16. And give me the one in Corinthians. Give me the first one in Corinthians. And then we're going to close it on that. Because our women got cursed too. The main curse that they got was they all ugly and out of shape.
Yeah.
And even the fine ones. And you know, you got Floyd Mayweather's fiance, Miss Jackson, they call her, right? That's a very attractive woman. I mean, she's what you call fine. But guess what? In our kingdom, that would be considered ugly, man. Because when we get back to our kingdom, our women are going to be super fine, man. Yeah. They stopped, man. There was this one woman, she was so fine, it was a war. Them men stopped fighting to look at her, man. And she stayed faithful to her husband even after her husband died. And she was the one that chopped off this guy's head, Holofernes, man. She had got some wine and some cheese, and that was wine and cheese and all that. And she done souped this guy up, which he was an Ethiopian, a Cushite, fighting against our people, Israelites, right? But she walked through the battle, and them was swinging swords, head to flying. They would stop just to look at her, man. And she had souped this guy up and got him drunk. And when he went down to lay his head down, she pulled out a sword and chopped his head off, man. She chopped the enemy's head off. The finest woman in the world chopped this man's head off and put his head in a basket and brought it back to the elders, man. And I think they hung that head up, and that gave the Israelite men strength to destroy them, to jack up them Ethiopians, man. Now, is any of y'all women talking about ride or die? Ride or die. She's ride or die, man. She'll chop a man's head off. Like them crazy Mexican bitches. They do shit like that, man. The black woman ain't going to do that. She'll chop your head off. But everything's all out of order. I understand the anger of Sotomayor. How you get on the black woman, that's all right. That's your right to get on the black woman because she is out of order. But there's a reason why she's out of order, because that's part of our curse. Okay? Go ahead.
Right. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 15 or 14. Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman...
Hey, you dudes with these... Anytime I see a man with dreadlocks, I said, this guy getting bumped. He getting bumped, man. He getting bent over, man. And anytime you see a guy with perfect cornrows down to his back, I said, man, this guy getting bent over, man.
Got it done in prison.
You got it done in prison, man. That's a sign, man. That's a sign that saying that you were ready and willing to toss salads.
Hey, 1 Corinthians.
You niggas ain't got no business down there in Atlanta, man. That's the faggot capital of the damn world, man. Yeah, gay Atlanta, man. You couldn't pay me to go to gay Atlanta, man. Got all these guys that go to the damn park dressing up like women and dancing and shit, man. Got about 200 of them kicking the same damn step, man. The hell's wrong with you niggas, man? And that's why the Most High is going to kill the majority of you, man. I'm going to let you know that, and I'm going to say this too. Ultimately, this guy Barack Obama or somebody else, they're going to push that chip, that microchip. They're going to push that, man, through that health care plan. And that's the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, 15 verse on down to the end. If you take that mark, that chip, that's your ass, man. You're going to be ate by one of the missiles, because missiles are going to destroy this place.
1 Corinthians 11 and 16. 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering.
It's a glory to it, man. That's why these hoes that go out to Hollywood and they make it, they get them professional stylists to put them weaves and those hair pieces in their head, and it looks like they really have that long hair, and they don't have that long hair, man. We don't even talk about her, all right? And they did a thing called Chris Rock did it called Good Hair, and he was showing you how they went to India to get them East Indian women with that long ass hair went down to their ankles and have it cut off, talking about if you give this hair to a god, and they were tricking these women. These guys would take the hair and sell it to America so these black women could put these weaves on. Because what do we read in Corinthians? It said that a woman's hair It's her glory, man. So the more hair you got, the more hair you have, the more glory you have. All right. Now, why does a black woman have to buy all these weaves and wigs and hair pieces, man? Because the Most High cursed him. And we're going to read that curse, and then we're going to close it, all right?
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
Right, Zion means remembrance in Hebrew. It means remembrance, monument. So we are the daughter, our women are known as the daughters of Zion, all the 12 tribes of Israel women. Go ahead. But mainly it's focusing on the three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because Ephraimite women can grow their hair, but the Ephraimite women so goddamn stupid, they like short hair. Shows you how stupid and silly they are, man.
Hey, but the Most High got their ass too. The motherfuckers grow too much. I mean, part of my language, they grow too much hair. Yeah. All right, and that's a curse too. You got a lot of these Puerto Rican women, they got bigger beards than brothers, man, and mustaches.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican women, some of them be having that Billy D. Williams look. Yeah.
Hey, we getting on all of them, man. Yeah. You know? Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I love the Puerto Rican woman. Okay? Yeah, that's my thing. But some of y'all messed up too, man.
Well, they're all messed up. But not as messed up as the black woman, man. And the West Indian woman, forget about her. Oh, boy. And, man, sometimes you got a taste for some oxtails, right? You driving to the spot to get some oxtails, and then you think about it, and then you sit, man, fuck that, man. Let me go get some Chinese restaurant. I don't want to go on goddamn line, go on the line, and the woman looking at you like you owe her money.
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, Misery's. Yeah, that's the boss. Misery's Kitchen. What you want? Yeah, well, hey, there's a place around the corner from the house in Connecticut, and we go there from time to time. Now, it's an old woman, Benjaminite woman, West Indian woman, Jamaican woman. She's kind of nice. She's cool with me. I go in there. You know, she talks to me like she's my grandmother. I say, how you doing? And God bless you. She's cool, right? But she looks mean, but she's nice. But she got a daughter that works there. She looks
like an alligator, but she's nice.
Yeah. but she's always very pleasant. I think she's a so-called Christian or whatever.
Yeah, she smiles like a gator.
Yeah, but she's ugly as hell.
Smile like a baby, but she bite like a gator.
But she got a daughter. She got a daughter. You go in there, the bitch look at you. She act like she's from another planet. You go in there and you be like, yeah, give me this, give me that. Huh? What? What you want? Huh?
That's why those restaurants don't last.
Yeah, that's why them restaurants don't last.
Yeah, because people get tired of getting the food might be good, but they're tired of getting the nasty, as Ari always say, the nasty attitudes, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah 3 and 16. Moreover, the Lord.
But that's part of the curses. Yeah. Go ahead.
Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks.
Walk like they shit don't stink. Yeah. Go ahead.
And wanton eyes.
Wanton means is an old English word meaning, look it up. It's an old English word meaning, you don't got to look it up, meaning undisciplined eyes. You know, a black woman, she like another dude. She walking hand in hand with her man, and she looking at other dudes, man. But she'll do it on a sneak. You know?
Walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
That's why you got, on the planet Earth, Chinese women got long hair. East Indian woman got long hair. White woman, I got to say it like Yeshaya. White woman got long hair. Okay? Even Mexican women got long hair, and the other tribe women got, Latin tribe, Native American got super long hair, man. Beautiful hair. Jet black, beautiful hair. But you black women, you ain't got no hair. And if you walk down, and we all know among the so-called black community, when you see a black woman with long-ass hair, we all know that is paid for, right? Yeah. You either paid for it or you stole it. Go ahead.
And the Lord will discover their secret parts. And
their secret parts is your privacy, man. Black women be have her titties all out, you know, ass all out. You can see the camel toe, so to speak, and they don't care, man. They don't care. Go ahead.
In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cauls and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels.
And by the way, these pieces of jewelry was real gold, you know, real precious stones. Go ahead.
The changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the
Crisping pins were like their version of hot combs, because the Israelites make the hair straight, puff it up as like an afro, put braids in it. Samson, and they show you in the series, the Bible, they had a black guy, big black guy, dark-skinned black guy play Samson, and he had dreadlocks, right? But when you read the account, Samson had cornrows, and he wasn't no faggot. The reason why he had long hair in the form of cornrows, he had 7 cornrows, all right? That's because he was a Nazarite, which means separate. He was separate unto the Lord. And you wasn't supposed to put no razor to your hair. At least you broke that vow. Go ahead.
It says, and the hoods and the veils, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well set hair, baldness.
Yeah, in other words, you see a lot of these black women are all out of shape, man. No shape whatsoever, man. Some of them are the biggest damn rhinoceroses in the damn zoo, man. Rhinoceri. And hippopotamus, man. I mean, women look like cabooses, man. Why? Because of that curse, man. That curse.
And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomach, a girdling of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty.
Burning instead of beauty. Burning meaning ugliness instead of beauty. So anyway, we hope you learned a little something. And we said we jumped around and we hit a lot of things for you new people that are newly watching us. I hope you watch us more if you want to learn. Maybe some of you are part of the elect. You come into this, you might go out there and become speakers yourself. But I'll say this. All the last few prophecies are coming to pass, and the end of the society is coming to pass very soon. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, which means peace. Shalom.